Hello and welcome everyone to the fifth episode of Meet the Streamer. I make this joke that I didn't think we'd get this far every time, and I'll do it again. I actually didn't think I would come to see the day that we get 5 episodes done, and it's honestly been amazing. Like the feedback,
Oh
it's
my
been great,
god, very
and
nice.
everything.
Oof, too much. Too much filler.
Birdman just
Oh.
came in; he's not muted. Right?
It's Ladybird.
Hey,
Server
but this is not
meeting,
our
let's
guest for
go.
today. Really isn't. Our first guest for today, actual guest, is the wonderful, the one and only Thick Fillet. Say hello.
Nice, dude. I thought you were gonna say Moxsy for a second.
Pierre
After
gets
you
to say
said
Moxsy.
wonderful.
Okay, and
Hello.
there's also Moxsy. Yeah, hello guys. Do you want to introduce
Hello.
yourself? Say something about yourself for starters.
Hey guys, my name is Thickfilla, and I stream Borderlands 3.
My name is Moxsy. I also stream Borderlands 3.
What a coincidence.
We
What a
love
yeah.
Borderlands.
Okay, so we're gonna start with a question for Moxsy. Tell us, where do you draw inspiration for your builds from?
I get inspiration from my builds from like specific things that I like that work together. Like I don't typically make. I mean, I guess there has been instances of it, but like a specific build around like a specific gun, it's more around like things that I find interesting, like the ricochet mechanic or and I've always liked playing things that are like different or trying to go off the meta and find things that interact, and then typically we'll find something that's going well or super interesting, and then I like basing the whole build basically off of one thing, like one skill, one interaction, one thing interesting, and then coming up with a name with my chat about that build, and they come out pretty well. But lots of fun builds.
Okay, yeah, thank you. Okay, so now question to both of you. What was your first video game that you ever played? You can remember?
Pokemon, I think. It's my first video game that I got, I think, super into.
My first
Game
video
Boy
games.
Advance Pokemon.
My bad, I spoke too early. My first video games were on original Xbox. So like, what did I play, dude? I played Fusion Frenzy, and Turok Evolution, and Halo 1. Those were the days. Those were the good old days.
Very nice.
You guys ever play Fusion Frenzy?
I have no
I've
idea
never
what
heard
that
of
is.
No.
Dude, that game's so awesome. I wonder
me
if
a
it's
synopsis.
remastered on Steam. It's like a party game.
I played games like Burnout Burnout Revenge, Jack and Daxter, Sly Cooper, Kingdom Hearts.
Oh.
Those were all my favorites. I had never played. My parents wouldn't let me get a mature game, and I never played any first-person shooters until I went to a friend's house and played Call of Duty Modern Warfare 4, COD 4. And that was my first M game and my first person shooter game that I ever played. And I was like, this is the most amazing thing I've ever done. I had so much fun. And then the next month, I just begged my parents for a copy of COD 4 as my one mature game. And then it's been first person shooters like since then.
Wait, you know what other game is freaking amazing? Jet Set Radio Future.
Oh yes,
Oh,
this is
man,
great.
he
I
knows
can
what's up.
agree.
Yes. Yes.
This man's funkin'.
Yes. Jet Set Radio Future. That was
I'll
one of
say
my
I,
first games
I
too.
haven't played it myself, but I love the soundtrack. I listen to it almost every day because
Really?
it's just so like Hideki Naganuma. Shout out, he's the best man.
Dude, I used to sneak into my basement every morning to play video games before my dad would yell at me.
In the morning,
Yeah.
I did the same thing.
I'd wake up at like 8 a.m. and then come upstairs at noon, and my parents would be like, "Good morning," and I'd be like, "Haha, yeah."
I just slept in, guys. Don't worry about me. Well, continuing with the questions, I actually have another question for both of you. Like, kind of Moxie kind of touched on this with his like explanation how he chooses builds. Like, what is your guys' favorite play style?
Moxie, you want to go first?
Sure. I like playing like speedy, quick things, playing aggressive in games, just running at things and explosions and things happening. I've always been like my go-to characters in any game of like RPG kind of base is always like the mage or the spellcaster. I've always really enjoyed builds that do like damage over time things. Unfortunately, damage over time builds are kind of done in Borderlands after Nimbus M10, RIP. But yeah, builds that are speedy and like big AOE things. I love like AOE attacks in games and the effects that go along with them typically.
So yeah, Moxsy literally gave the same exact answer as me. At least the first part, speedy explosions. That sounds pretty awesome. But that's just for Borderlands. Like, I don't know. At least just for Borderlands 3, I guess I should say. Like BL1, I played freaking Mordecai, who was like a sniper. And BL2 I played Zero, who was like a sniper. And then yeah, BL3 speed explosions. That's my favorite thing for BL3.
Yeah.
I feel like Borderlands 3 allows you to be way more aggressive than the other games.
Yeah,
I mean, like
definitely.
a little bit, just because lifesteal is on like all of the characters, and it's not as hard. Versus like Borderlands 2, like B shield, hiding behind cover, whip out your Moxsy pistol, get your health back, wait for your B shield to recharge, stuff like that. I mean, obviously there was Krieg and stuff, but I feel like there's way more catering to aggressive play in Borderlands 3.
Do you guys think that like this like your favorite like play style influence at the end like who you picked in Borderlands?
No, not at all. Literally, that's like my favorite playstyle for Borderlands, but that's because I picked Zane and started playing him. Like in other games, I play everything. Like in Skyrim, I did like a million playthroughs, like one of everything, you know. In Pokemon, I always play with all the starters. I know that's a weird example, but no, yeah, in BL3, I don't know. I like when I play a different character, it just doesn't feel right because I have no speed. I need it.
And for you, Moxie?
I definitely. I mean, I just like I said, I always like I've played all the Sirens are my first characters in the Borderlands game, and I always go for those like elemental characters. In Diablo, I play the Wizard, Skyrim, the Mage, Black Desert Online, the like Sorceress. I'm always going for those like spellcaster type stuff. Which I guess is technically the Siren, even though the Siren isn't like a quote unquote like spellcaster, it would definitely be the closest thing.
Definitely the most spellcastiest thing that we have in
Yeah.
Borderlands. I mean, still very well made. So my next question is gonna be for Thick, and it is as someone who's been playing Zane since launch, how do you truly feel about Zane's current state of balance, where commitments means weapon choice doesn't matter since he can make practically any weapon work at the moment with the amount of kill skills he has?
I mean, like from a what's the word I'm looking for? From a thought, what's the word I'm looking for? From a like builder's perspective, it's kind of just stupid because like you just use like there's no thought behind it. But from a gameplay perspective, it's a lot of fun. You know what I mean? You can just pick up any gun and shoot it, and it works. And between like Eraser making guns work too is really freaking cool. I mean, I would say most of Zane's problems are with all of his stuff that doesn't work. Like it kind of sucks that you just use, you know, you pick between See Undead or Spy, you use Commitment, you use Eraser, and then that's about it. Or you use like Clone Capstone. Like those are your two options: clone build or non-clone build. Like those are like Zane's two builds in the game. And from that perspective, it really sucks. But I mean, as a character, and is he just fun to play? Yeah, absolutely. You know, but yeah.
Okay, when it comes to like talking about your favorite wall hunters, Moxie, I have a question for you. So could you tell us something more about your wonderful pasta themed flag and when you can expect the meatball mousse and lasagna amara next?
Um, this all stemmed, I think it started before, but I streamed from a kitchen for a while because I
Oh my
was displaced from my apartment because my internet sucked. I couldn't stream for more than 30 minutes without disconnecting from stream. So I moved to a relative's apartment and I worked in a kitchen. I didn't work in a kitchen. I streamed from a kitchen. I had a sink behind me. Now I still have a sink behind me. But I made pasta on stream and I put oil in the water and the pasta, oil, and water debate was born, and I think Meatball Moe's was originating before then, but Chad has always wanted me to make a Meatball Moe's build. I always denied that, and to slightly trigger them, but also make a new fun flak build, we were working on a URAD build, and we were using the reflux, and we're saying that the reflux chains kind of looked like fettuccine, even though that's a stretch. And then we ended up with fettuccine flak, and I don't like naming my builds like super memey or strange, but the name worked. Like, it's of my most recent videos. It's one of my more viewed ones. And I did DM Olive Garden and
Oh my God.
other Italian dinner restaurants and chains and pasta makers trying to get a sponsorship. Still in the process. But
What would you accept? Would you want them to pay you, or would you take unlimited Olive Garden gift cards?
Like
I would
unlimited
take-
breadsticks gift card.
I would take whatever. I'm in it for the meme, not the money.
I mean, I could see a fettuccine flag in new special menu for a season, for example.
Olive Garden's going through some shit though with their rioters having pasta passes. I don't know if you saw any of that.
No.
no.
But yeah, they've had a busy week on Twitter, so I wasn't expecting much. But yeah, I can't say anything about Meatball Moe's because that is my trade secret, and whether that'll be a thing or not, we'll never know.
Okay, well, I guess we're
Hey,
looking forward
I
to
made
it.
The code word is that I'm working on it, and it's coming out soon.
I made a breadstick bear build once.
I know, I saw that.
That was a good one.
And you ate breadsticks. I watched the videos.
Yeah, it was the
really good.
first time I ever tried Rocketeer.
Ugh.
I realized you could just do anything and just let Rocketeer kill everything for you.
Yeah, okay.
Oh.
Now for some more random question for you guys. If you had a loot explosion when you died, what would you drop?
I think I would die the way I lived, pissing and shitting. That would be my loot explosion.
Probably.
So you would drop the It's
recursion.
Poop legendary skin, is that right?
And it's
And the
piss.
piss grenade.
Okay,
The
exactly.
piss grenade, yeah.
I drop a recursion, I think. I don't know. Probably.
Plus, Handsome Jack said nobody kill Thick.
Okay, well, if you mentioned Handsome Jack, I have another question for you guys actually about Handsome Jack. So, do you think he should be in some point bring it back again, or should like other main villains, like for example Calypso Twins, be brought back at some point to the game? I don't know, even if like new DLC or next game, or should they like be left alone forever and never come back?
I think the Calypso twins absolutely should have been in the Krieg DLC. I feel like it was a huge missed opportunity. I feel like Ava should have been in that DLC too, honestly.
Yeah.
So like definitely
She got
there.
an echo cast.
Yeah, she got an echo cast. That was it.
It's something.
The
Big inclusion.
especially after the first map in the Krieg DLC, when you're like walking through it and there's like portraits of the Calypso twins, even like you really think you're gonna fight them at the end, and they just you just fight the doctor with no real backstory. But and then Handsome Jack. Everybody says never bring him back, but like they could totally bring him back, and everybody wouldn't like blink, and it would probably be great, honestly.
Yeah, I feel like they. Oh, that's a cattail.
Hey, Break is here.
I mean, I feel like they like kind of brought him back with
Yeah, he got his
the
DLC.
the DLC, and like I didn't have any complaints. Well, I think like originally I was like, oh, like the Calypso twins failed, and like people hate the story, so there's Handsome Jack to save the game for DLC 1. But I wouldn't have anything against more Handsome Jack. I feel like he's just. I mean, we don't know if what would happen in the next Borderlands game, but I feel like Handsome Jack is a big part of Borderlands and is probably gonna be the best villain we get. So I got no problems with more of him.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure they can just bring in his legacy at any given point, and it would make sense somewhere. Just because he
Yeah.
was so strong at one point in Borderlands 2.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, and it would be a good story because Handsome Jack is a great character.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah, like what?
there's one
Sorry.
thing like in Tales from Borderlands, we don't really know if the Jack was destroyed or not, and that's like one more thing that can come back with the Jack. But it all depends on which storyline from the game is the actual storyline that was implemented into Borderlands 3, and that we'll probably never know.
Haven't they confirmed one though?
I don't
Confirmed
remember
what?
this.
That like one ending of Tales is actually canon at the beginning of 3.
I don't know.
Like one
about-
one has to be, of course, but I thought like they confirmed it at some point. Which
I don't
one
know.
it is?
I don't know about that
Sure.
specifically, but they did say that they're never bringing Handsome Jack back and that he's dead. They did confirm that. So
Well, someone said no, they did. So no, they didn't confirm it. So I'll believe that. But now, back to game questions. As I'm asking all the technical questions nowadays. My question would be, what do you guys think of the new skill trees? Like purple trees have been out for like a little while now, and people have been doing builds left and right. And my question would also be on this: if you guys have any ideas or concepts that you would have liked to see in these skill trees, or what you think are missed opportunities with those skill trees.
Moxie, you want to go first? Do you want me to?
Up to you.
All right. Zane's purple tree is a work of art. There's like very few
True.
skills in there that
Rich.
aren't good. Like Art of War is not that good, and the tier 1 skill that gives you health regen is like whatever, but it's a tier 1 skill. I kind of wish the Art of War was like amp damage or like something multiplicative, because it's kind of like playing dirty in Cold Bore. Like Zane kind of always had skills like that, like playing dirty in Cold Bore, where it was like one shot but one big multiplicative bonus. And then the Art of War is the same way, but it's just gun damage. But yeah, besides Zane, Amara's purple tree is amazing. Moses' purple tree is like medium plus, and Flax purple tree is like, why so many shields? Like, how many skills in one tree do you need to say plus shields or plus shield delay? Like, I feel like there needs to be way more utility, like actual utility.
Like
rather
health
than
regen?
just- I mean, not even health regen, like utility. Like, okay, it's hard to come up with stuff, to be fair, but a really good example I like to give is duct tape mod. Like the buff to duct tape mod with self splash immunity. That's utility. You know what I mean? That's not damage at all. That's straight up utility. And like, if there was actual utility instead of literally just like skill after skill, just straight up saying plus shield, it's like, come on. It gets to be too much after too long.
Yeah, and especially like with the high scalings, like no matter how much shield you have, people just deal damage, and the numbers are absurd.
Not even just that, but even just from a pure like game theory perspective, like it's just too much of the same thing. When you have 4 skills that do the same thing, you're just going to use the best one. So like with Zane, you have Good Misfortune, you have Calm Cool Collected, you have the Techspert class mod, and you have Almighty Ordnance. All of these skills actually do the same thing. but one of them does it better than everything else, and people only use Good Misfortune because it's just the best at it. So Flak's purple tree is the same way, except it's all in one tree, and it's like it's just too much.
I like the new trees. I think in the debate of, hey, do we want new trees or new characters? I think given now what we've seen, I mean I like the new trees. I think my biggest issue with the new trees is that we don't have anywhere new to play with them. There was just a big disconnect between like, hey, here's Arms Race, this new area to play, and here's new skill trees, but you can't use your new skill trees in Arms Race, and you can't use the weapons in Arms Race. And there was just this big disconnect that I want to try my new skill tree against the new hardest area, the new boss, and there isn't anything like that. In general, I do think that there's like a clear vision that they went with the skill trees for each of the characters. Flak's survivability, Mo's like a duration action skill that she doesn't actually have to be taken away from gunfights from. Flak's survivability, Amara. I feel like Amara's purple tree was really good. I think part of it was, hey, let's just not make this a face puncher tree and only be a face puncher tree because we'll give them the Kinsei, and then the Kinsei, I still don't know if that was intentional or not, for it to not actually do melee damage. I thought it was gonna make the like specking into purple tree with a gun build really good, but it doesn't, because a lot of the purple melee skills don't work with Kensei and don't apply to it.
Yeah, that's really weird.
So there was all this hype for me personally for purple tree, because it was like, oh my god, we're gonna be able to use White Elephant Monarch, like all these like crazy fun kooky Borderlands-y interactions that were gonna become possible, and now they're not. And now with the nerfs that came to Amara is like, and as an Amara main, it's basically like, oh, here's different variations of a melee build. Because her gun builds just can't really compete at the moment, especially with the driver nerf and it wasn't direct driver nerf, but fake grasping nerf and ties that bind nerfs, nerfing some of my favorite interactions, unfortunately. But yeah, I like the purple trees. I think something content-wise and game-wise to go along with them, so that we could really see them in action instead of just doing them on the same stuff that we've already been doing, would have been really cool.
I see. And you already touched on that, Arms Race did disappoint in that sense, that you couldn't like try out your new trees, which I completely agree with. Like I haven't even thought about that yet, but it makes total sense. But talking about like Arms Race as a whole, what is it that you guys like about the new mode, and what you guys don't like?
So personally, what I do like about it is really unique, and it is like a new game mode. Like it's really cool to have kind of different things, and it also brings up a really interesting point. Like, what if Borderlands had like a bunch of different game modes in it that could be cool and different and unique and stuff like that? What I don't like about it is a little bit repetitive, and also like there's just no action skills in it. It doesn't feel Borderlands-y. Like it feels like I'm starting a new playthrough, which isn't super fun in my opinion all the time. And I actually do think it was a huge missed opportunity to start you off with your base purple skills only. Like how Moxsy mentioned, like you get brand new skill trees and you can't use them in the brand new content. But like, what if you just had your base purple skill and that was it? Like that would be cool. And there's also like different scaling in Arms Race. Like, they could take away the mayhem scaling, so your action skills wouldn't be OP or anything. But you could still use them and like have fun with them and stuff like that. I wonder if any mods will come out for that.
Cool.
I mean, there's a couple mods that kind of touch it already, but I know there's some more in the works. But it just takes time to like make it work properly without any bugs.
Yeah.
I like the idea of Arms Race. I feel like there's a few things. So if they want to keep it the way it is, they need to, in my opinion, because arms race is fun and novel until you get the gear from it. Once you get your plasma coil, your perfect spy, your whatever, like once you get that stuff from it, there's no incentive to go back in. If they said, "Hey, we're going to have new weapons in there monthly, new gear to farm, and every month there's going to be one piece of gear that's exclusive that you can only get in arms race. Every month it's going to be a new weapon, and you can only acquire it from brand new weapon to Borderlands. You can only acquire it in arms race." Then you would have repetition and like replayability in that sort of content. If arms race in 5 years is still farming a plasma coil, I don't see anyone still playing it.
True.
If 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 it's gonna stay what it is, I still think that like making it more like, it's weird to say like BR-esque, because like the main properties of like a BR is each game, each playthrough, every time you drop into a battle royale is different. You land at a different spot. You don't know where the final circle is going to end. You don't know what scenario is going to be. There's none of that in arms race because you land in pretty much the same spot. All the chests are in the exact same spot. The same enemies spawn in the same spot. You still fight the same boss at the same spot. If they had different bosses randomly, different circle changes, I mean, I know there is some like randomness in like the gear that you get and where it is, but I don't see those changes happening. But I do think that having rotated weapons in there and stuff would be really cool, because one of the best things that came from Arm Race was at least for me, was the extraction event from it. That was a really engaging way to engage with my audience, and really exciting because everyone would get excited about the gear, and no one's going to be excited about a plasma coil in 6 months.
Yeah, did you try
people
to
aren't even
play?
excited about plasma coil now. So like if for example DLC 6 comes out and the arms race doesn't change, no one's going to be going to arms race. Everyone's just going to be playing this new content, and then you've wasted all of arms race. So I'd love to see if they're going to be releasing new events and new stuff to incorporate arms race into that new stuff.
I don't know if you tried to play with the mods on Arms Race, like which mods, like for example, adding all the guns from the game to the pool, because this, like seeing that, how this changed the game, because you get totally random guns and mods from every single DLC, every main game, definitely changes the game. It makes it more random because you never know what you're gonna find. So yeah, I think that idea is pretty cool to like rotate or add new guns for the Arms Race. That could be something that would keep this mod alive.
Definitely.
Yeah.
I really think base action skills are super like would I don't know. To me that's a big one. Like that's important for me. The fact there's 0 action skills in Arms Race like kills it a little bit for me. Like I still have a lot of fun in Arms Race. I've done probably 1,000 runs of it, but I mean I also stream it. And it's never like boring. I mean, I guess I also talk to my chat all the time. But like yeah, I don't know. I really wish it did have like action skills. I'm
Could you
even
imagine-
I'm fine with no skill tree, by the way, but like I don't know, action skills are definitely a must for Borderlands.
Yeah, I guess
Like,
that
could you
would
imagine
definitely
like
change
the
it.
change to the mode where it's like, okay, you can make the mode harder but get more benefits. Like you can pick like your main skill, you can pick one, but at the same time enemies will be like 2 levels above you or something, so that it's like compensated for it being like easier because you have the skills. Because if you can just summon an Iron Bear or even just the baby bear, it's like it's gonna be a lot easier to just chew through those mobs because
Yeah,
it's
that's
already like kind of easy with normal guns.
That's
It'd be cool
definitely
if you
true.
could keep going too,
Yeah.
like after you beat the boss.
Yeah.
They-
Modders, if
they
you
can
listen, that's
also-
a good idea to do.
Gearus is if you're listening, write this down.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
The thing is like with Mayhem 4, remember Mayhem 4 days, the modifiers, there was literally a modifier that was like minus action skill damage. Like they could just stick that on the Arms Race map like easily.
Oh yeah, totally.
Okay,
Man, I totally forgot that this existed. Thanks for reminding me.
Yeah, but I mean
Darker
like,
times.
they could balance it in the game. Plus there's no mayhem scaling at all. Like have you meleeed an enemy in Arms Race, it doesn't work.
Okay, I have another question for you guys. So can you tell me which Borderlands was your first game you ever played? Because some people started from Borderlands 2, some started from 1. And which was your like favorite Vault Hunters from the previous games?
Rumor has it that even some people started with the pre-sequel.
Or Borderlands Legends,
Oh,
so...
And still play Borderlands. I started with Borderlands 1. And I played Lilith. No surprise.
I started with Borderlands 1. I played Mordecai exclusively for all my playthroughs until this one time I played Brick, and it was freaking awesome. I didn't realize it would be that fun. And then BL2, I played 0. And I think I started a Sal, but I just played 0. I didn't play the pre-sequel, and I did not play Tales.
You should.
Never played the pre-sequel ever.
No, I started it. It's because I always played with friends. That's how I started playing Borderlands in the first place. Was a friend was like, we should play this game, and we went and got it.
Same.
And then I played it by myself afterwards. But that's what happened with me in the pre-sequel. Me and my friend were supposed to play it, and every single time we started, he wanted to stop after like 30 minutes, and then I was like, all right, fuck this. I'm never playing this game again. But yeah, because he didn't want to. I want to try Timothy in the pre-sequel.
Oh, Timothy's a lot of fun. I've played him almost exclusively, and it's like, man, it's like a different kind of sane feeling. Like you have all these skills, and you summon these clones, and every time they despawn
Mhm.
because you walk too far away or they die, you just get a refresh on your shit, and it's like, oh, it's so good. It's so good, really. And honestly, like the glitch system in like TPS was really interesting, and Timothy just made it work. It's amazing.
Mhm.
Yeah, it sounds fun.
Okay, Moxie, I have a question for you. So, a lot of people remember you starting from the scratch at the BL3 launch, and how does it feel to make a name of yourself as because we're on the scene for like almost since like the beginning of Borderlands 2 and being right now in span of the year one of the top streamers while people worked many years to be there at the spot with the Borderlands 2.
I mean, it's insane. It's crazy. I wasn't trying to be a Borderlands content creator or Borderlands streamer. That was never my intention. It was like I was obsessed with our Borderlands builds. There was a Reddit for Borderlands builds before Borderlands 3 came out, and there was a they released the skill trees for all the Vault Hunters, and I was like almost crazy, like to the point of like being like crazy obsessed, like with just putting together skill trees and looking at other people's skill trees and like playing around with them. And then the game launched, and I played Amara, and I didn't die on my first playthrough, and I was like, holy crap, I made it through the whole thing. And then I looked at what all these big people were posting for Amara builds, and they were like, oh, they were using like Samsara with Ties That Bind and saying that works. And I was like, wait, that doesn't work. Like, I know that doesn't work. And I saw like a lot of false information about Amara because it was no one's fault. Like, things were not working as they should, as you'd guess them to. So I made a build, and it like blew up overnight. And then I posted more, and it's been like a crazy humbling journey. Like, I'm able to do this full time, which I'd never met. Like, this has been, I tried to do YouTube when I was like 13, and it didn't work out.
I did remnants of that on the web.
I was a little squeaker making Call of Duty videos, and yeah, and my parents were like, give up, this is never gonna happen. And I like really wanted to try to make Call of Duty videos. And it's funny because like Jolton, I think K6 too made Call of Duty videos prior. But yeah, I mean, the whole journey has been insane, and I completely look up to so many people in the community, and now I'm like colleagues with them, which is super weird. And I still fanboy over like all the other content creators. But yeah, it's awesome. I get to do something that I love and share my passion for a game that I love with thousands of people, which is crazy. And there's no other community that I'd rather be a part of than the Borderlands community, which is awesome.
Amazing. Thanks for sharing that story. like, but like to think that you would just like go from zero to hero in just this little time because of like Reddit posts is like, take notes, everyone. You can still make your own Reddit moment.
Yeah, it was crazy.
Right.
That Reddit post, I posted the video to YouTube. I don't think I would have gotten any traction on the YouTube without the Reddit post. The Reddit post overnight got like a bunch of gold stars. My first ever gold star on Reddit, and like it was the top voted post on the Reddit on our Borderlands builds. I don't know. I posted it to our Borderlands at 3, I think, as well, but I don't know if it did as well there. But yeah, that video, I mean, I think 184,000 views on it, which is up there with my highest videos, even though I've been making videos for over a year now, which is just crazy.
I mean, definitely congratulations that you've made it this far. I mean, to both of you, really, because that's why you're here today. Because we've brought it to something in the Borderlands community. My next question is gonna be for Thick, and it goes like this: a lot of people have turned away from Borderlands 3 to the lack of content. People name bad character development, poor story content, etc. What do you think could be done going forward to bring back those dedicated to the franchise? Do you think, for example, like the question names an example, a DLC based around Ava is really the way to go, considering most players find her extremely annoying?
I mean, I don't know about that. I think as long as there's a good quest line, people will enjoy it and play it. I don't think the fact that it's based around Ava really matters. Like, for example, everybody might hate Ava, but everybody loves the Private Bean side quest. Like, do you guys like that side quest? You're gonna say yeah.
Love it.
Exactly. So it doesn't matter that that's around Ava, right? It just matters that it's like good content. And that's what would make players come back. Like personally, I'm extremely disappointed that every single DLC has no raid boss, no Circle of Slaughter, no Proving Ground. There is no in-game content in any of the DLCs, including DLC 5 to an extent. Like Arms Race is kind of in-game content, but it's not true in-game content. We were also on a like a timeline where we were getting a DLC, then a takedown, then a DLC, then a takedown. Then we got DLC 3, and then we got no more takedowns after that. And if we just kept on that timeline of takedown after every DLC, we would also be in a much better spot because the end game content isn't in the DLC; it's in the takedowns. But we've only gotten 2 takedowns, and it's just not enough in my opinion. Like BL2, I guess everyone always says like BL2 took forever to get all its raid bosses. We're now past a year of Borderlands 3. Like, how many raid bosses were in BL2 after the first year?
I mean, I only played like later in the game cycle, but like, I'd assume like 3,
Something like that.
more than 1.
Plus, like, there was no raid boss in this game's main game.
Oh yeah, totally. Like we had Terramorphous in Borderlands 2. And
I mean,
like,
at the very
what was
first
the first
teasers for
version?
the game, we
Ah.
could see something that looked like raid boss, and it didn't show up in the game at the end. Maybe that's the
Yeah.
content of DLC 6. Hopefully.
Yeah,
They'll
but
sell us scrapped content.
Yeah.
yeah, even that feels a little bit bad.
But talking about like takedowns, because they haven't made a takedown yet, and we had the Guardian takedown and the Melon takedown. There are themes, So like more creative question now to both of you, like what theme would you like the next takedown to be and why? What do you guys think would make sense?
I still want a COV takedown where it's like Troy and Tyrene made a buttload of anointed enemies and they're all trapped on this island, but then Troy and Tyrene died, so now we have to go kill all these anointed enemies off. That would be awesome. I think anointed. I mean, I guess realistically, the base game is a COV takedown if you think about it like that. But I don't know. Have you guys ever played offline Slaughter Shaft like a couple months back?
I sadly haven't. No.
Fine.
Does offline Slaughter Shaft still do that? By the way, does anyone know?
Not sure.
Do what? Like be crazy difficult?
Okay. Yeah. No. So if you played Slaughter Shaft offline, I don't know if it still does this. Quag says it might, but a couple months back, at least, if you were offline with no hot fixes, it only spawns anointed enemies, and it's
Oh,
like
God.
actually kind of insane.
What the fuck?
No, I love it. It's like it's in a good way, honestly.
I mean, sounds amazing if you have the damage, to be honest.
Yeah.
But like, if you don't have the build, like, I actually went a lot of my journey without like, sourcing up builds. So I was lacking in the damage department sometimes. And when you get like to Mayhem 6 and up, and suddenly like there's an anointed enemy, and you're like, okay, guys, strap in. This is gonna be half an hour of just firing at this thing now. Not that cool to just have then like 3 of those in your face, especially those with like the invincibility shields. God, I hate those.
Yeah, that's the one that sucks.
Yeah, because they keep spamming the move sometimes, they get locked into it and they just stay invincible. Ugh. Anyways,
Moxie, what kind
Moxsy.
of takedown you would want to see in the game?
yeah, totally.
I think a COV takedown would be cool. I like that too.
Moxie, didn't you
I
want Guardian
miss-
takedown?
Yeah, a Guardian takedown was like a big idea that I kept talking
Yeah,
about in
you-
streams, and then
yeah,
we
you
got
got yours.
literally exactly what I was asking for, like to the T, and
Yeah.
everyone hated it. No, I was like literally on the stream like begging. I was like, look, Necrotafeo and the Guardian areas are so cool, and it feels like a whole different part of this game, and I would love a takedown. And I would love it to be Destiny-esque with like mechanics, and we got like that. So I feel it's like weird, but like yeah, that I was really pressing for something like exactly like the Guardian takedown. I still like the Guardian takedown. Like I still think it's my like favorite part of content in Borderlands. I just don't like the rewards you get for doing it and the time that it takes to complete it. Like I love that it's challenging. I love that there's mechanics. I love that there's interesting boss fights and it is genuinely a challenge. I just wish that there was, and it's part of Borderlands' anointment system, a way that you truly felt like you were putting the time in that it was worth it. And not to put in like Destiny, but like you get like a guaranteed like raid drop in Destiny, and the whole point of doing that is in Destiny and with their like light system is like you genuinely know that whatever you're gonna get is basically going to be an improvement on the stuff that you already had because it's going to drop at a higher light or it's going to be a raid drop which is going to be worthwhile to you versus Borderlands where you could run Guardian takedowns for 10 days straight and still not get a smog next to max or something like that. It's tough with the anointment system and not also having power creep stuff. But when you look at like Malon takedown, like Gibbsworth, really good. Takes Boom, really good. The Mayhem 4 exclusive class mods that drop in Malon takedown, really good. The version 0.m, really good. Redistributor, really good. Like you go to the Guardian takedowns rewards that you get from it, and it's like the stinger. Honestly, I mean, like
You know what?
I don't
You
like
know what My bad. You know what I think they missed in the Guardian takedown though?
what?
They missed the secret loot. Like you can blow up Wotan's legs for
Yeah.
extra loot explosions.
I still have dreams that there's like something that we're missing. That there's some
Dude, whenever Scourge like is disappearing, you see damage numbers. I went to Mayhem 0 and frickin' just unloaded into him with a Monarch and just like nothing happened.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what the hell, dude? I swear there's like supposed to be something there.
Maybe they scrapped it as well because of time constraints. Who knows? Maybe we'll get it in the next one. But actually, I have a follow-up question to like the next takedown, which is we've talked about arms race, and what do you guys think would make for a good theme area if they made another map for it?
A theme area for arms race.
Say that
Yeah,
one more time.
just
I missed the question.
Yeah. So like the same question basically, just with arm switch, just instead of takedown. Like, if they made another map, what do you think would make like for a good like theme, new area, like away from like this snow covered point with the murder cycle, and just somewhere else.
Arms race and Krieg's Mind.
Ooh, I like that idea. The Green Meadows.
Yeah, I feel like the whole Krieg's Mind thing was a little. It's such a open canvas for literally anything, and
And there's no Circle of Slaughter.
yeah, like you could really truly get like Digistruct peak, but Krieg's Mind, wild enemies, crazy. Like it's literally an open canvas to throw in anything you want, and we didn't get as thick as we're saying, like a Circle of Slaughter, or like a Proving Grounds, or like a Takedown, or any sort of end game associated with it.
Dude, DLC 1 Circle of Slaughter would have been the best.
Oh,
It
it
still
could have
would
been
be.
so cool, so
Mm.
cool. Like
Literally,
just like a huge, so many
it'd be
cool things
like-
you could do with it.
It would be like loader bots, and then there's a wave of infected psycho from the Double Down mission. Then there's a wave of scrap traps. Then there's a wave like, dude, DLC 1 Circle of Slaughter would be the best.
Yeah, it could be like an arena where people like were fighting for money as well, and they just like implemented it into
Mhm.
the
Yeah, and like
jackpot,
it's like
yeah.
it's and since Moxsy took over, it's like the new Thunderdome, Moxsy's dome. Oh man,
By the
we
way,
will be
my
going.
name has nothing to do. It was weird because Moxsy's part of Borderlands, but I had the name Moxsy before.
She
So
took
you
it
did it
from
before
you.
it was cool. Do I understand this right?
Yeah. I just got like a lot of crap like originally breaking into the Borderlands scene because my name was Moxsy.
And how did you get that name even? Just like thought like, hey, Moxsy sounds nice without even knowing Borderlands.
I back in because as I said earlier, like I was like very big into like Call of Duty and like Call of Duty trick shotting, and people that I played with all had like clan names and these cool names that were like very simple, but like spelt weirdly. Like almost everyone had like a weirdly spelled name of something that was like normal. And I made a list in math class in middle school because I was bored, and I wrote down all these cool random names and I showed them to my friends, and we picked Moxsy.
No
That's-
way.
That's how it happened. But
And
yeah.
is one of your friends coincidentally now working at Gearbox?
No.
Did he like say, oh man, I really like that name. I should make a character out of this.
I used to have a capital X. It was MO capital X SY, but I lost the capital X because it looked bad.
Mm.
Oh man.
Well,
I hope
about-
you'll find
I
it
actually,
again someday.
before I posted my first Borderlands video and started streaming it, I actually applied to work at Gearbox and got rejected.
Feels bad.
I applied to be a game tester and didn't get the acceptance.
And now guess what? You still got that
I'm
job. You're just
still-
doing it for
still
free.
yeah, I'm doing an unpaid game tester.
Oh yeah.
I would
Well, like-
love to find that.
Since we talked
Email.
about names just right now, like I'd be actually interested. Like, Thick, where did you get your name from? Like-
So, I used to
know.
watch different streamers on Twitch, and
Mm.
I was part of different communities. And one day I was like, hey, wouldn't it be funny if I changed my name to Thick Fillet? And someone was like, yeah, that would be funny. And then I did it. And then on Twitch, you can't change your name for 2 months. So,
Just stayed with it.
No.
yeah,
I-
so it's just stuck. That's the
I hope
story.
for an epic tale of like, yeah, like my parents died and then I took on the name and something. Nah, it was just like, hey, should I call myself Thick Fillet? Yeah.
Yeah,
It's like
that's it.
those dump tattoos
That's
at your
amazing.
party, right?
It's just a
like-
giant meme.
Like we had so many like different stories at this point. And I actually loved every single one of them. Like from first names to like in the community, being in the community for too long, to just coming up with a name before the character was even invented, and and the memes. Like I love it. I love this community.
Yeah, my name is perfect because it's a meme, just like my adult life.
Well,
Preach,
at least
brother.
you're honest with yourself, right? So that's
Mhm.
important. Okay, guys, I have a question because we always like rate everything in the game based on skills, damage, and so on. So I wanna rate you, make you rate something from the different perspective. So which Vault Hunter do you think have the nicest visual design? Like from the best to the worst one in Breath 3. Which ones you think are the best designed visually wise?
Listen, I don't care what anyone says. Easily, Flack's alternate design is the greatest thing we have ever gotten.
He looks
Okay.
like bootleg
Especially-
Bionicle.
Especially with the horse head.
Skinny Flack is horrifying and haunts my dreams.
It looks
Yeah,
like
he's bad.
Bionicle. It looks like Bionicle. I can't unsee it after I saw it like once. The
He looks like
When
he's
I-
about to save Matanui, not gonna lie.
When I realized that you could actually see his toes, that's what changed my life.
Yeah. What do you do, Moxsy? Which one is like your favorite visually?
I like. So I really love the like fauna base skins that they did. I think partial. I really like Moses' design
Hmm.
and the way that she does in her new skin. Big fan of how awesome you can make Mose and pair it with Iron Bear.
No.
Okay, actually though, if we're talking about skins, the DLC 4 skins though. Yeah.
Oh, the like
Splatter?
splatter. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, those
So
are sick.
good.
Okay, another question for you guys. What's the best quote from the whole Burnout franchise? Your favorite quote ever said in the whole game?
That's a hard one. I like it.
You couldn't hit a cow's arse with a banjo.
Not surprised
That's the
about
one.
this.
Easy clap.
God, these pretzels
it.
suck. That's my
I hate you.
favorite.
Oh wait, no, I'm sorry. My favorite is actually shoot me in the face.
In the
In the
face.
face. Got it. Need it. Want to have it. Shoot me in the face.
Still
Face,
my
face, face.
This is still my ringtone, and whenever someone calls me at work, all office looking at me like, "Can you fucking change it?" No. So yeah,
No.
everyone at
No.
work knows about Borderlands because of my ringtone. Everyone hates it, and I love it how they hate it.
Yeah, that one's actually the best.
Okay, Rumpy?
Yeah, I'm actually just like looking through our like endless long list of questions to find the perfect one, and I think I'm gonna go with like another one that makes them think, because clearly we're not thinking here for thinking, which is what do you guys see as the most powerful piece of gear in the franchise? And maybe if you want to make it easy, we can also just take BL3 only. Like, what do you guys think is the most powerful piece of gear right now?
Probably the Plague Bearer, right?
Hmm. Pretty good.
It's definitely up there.
Hmm.
Stinger, maybe. And the face puncher.
So
I-
I agree. I say Plague Bearer for like versatility because I think even in like a build that's not built around the Plague Bearer, like it still just wrecks everything.
Yeah, very true.
But there's definitely some stuff that could be stronger. Like I think Anarchy Chuck is stronger right now.
Like Anarchy the shotgun, like the one from
Mhm.
DLC
Yeah.
2. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it's like pretty good. I've just today I've got like a 390 anointment with it.
Oh yeah.
I mean,
If I get this thing stacked, it's gonna wreck.
considering the meta for Triple G's challenge right now with Zane and Anarchy, I could say yes, it's pretty strong enough at this point.
I don't know why he didn't ban TDR chucking. I looked at his list of banned things and I was like, "Did you forget TDR chucking?" And he was like, "No, it's allowed." And I'm like, "Why?" Your last challenge, like, 4 of the top builds were TDR builds. Like,
Okay, so the next
know.
challenge, no TDR builds, maybe? Just to
No.
make half of the
TDR will
community
always be allowed.
riot. Half of the community will riot about this if this happened. Okay,
Yeah, but like on being on the topic of it, like what do you guys actually think about the current challenge from Triple?
it's pretty fun.
I
I
haven't
always
tried
like
it.
speedrunning.
I haven't tried it yet.
Wait,
Oh,
you
shit.
haven't? Why not?
Do it on stream. Go on.
I have been
Because
working on
one
making
Amara tree isn't
builds.
enough.
No.
Now we're getting personal over here.
And builds, and I've been playing some other stuff recently as well.
Yeah.
But there's
Like
also a Bird have also a challenge, right, for making a builds, the thematic builds. Maybe you can go with a flag
Yeah,
over there.
thematic builds. I don't know if that's live yet, but that sounds. I don't know what that is, but pasta themed builds are coming.
Nice. I'll be waiting for that. You mentioned pasta. Let's talk about cooking. So I was very, very encouraged to ask you this question multiple times.
Oh boy, I know what's coming.
I know that you know because I heard you heard this question yesterday on your stream. So, have you ever considered learning how to cook an onion?
I am very aware of how to cook an onion. Streaming and cooking is, it's, you have that pressure when you're streaming to do things when you're playing games. When you're cooking, it's even worse because no one wants to cut their finger off while cutting an onion on stream. But you cut an onion, you cut it half, and then you go not all the way down one way and then all the way down the other way, and you get a nice little dice. And screw you, Less Handsome Jack, for asking that. He and I used to live like right next to each other. I didn't know that.
Oh, nice.
Missed opportunity on his end.
Yeah.
Did you manage to
Moxsy
visit?
too.
Did you manage
Yeah, I wanted
to?
some of that good food.
Yeah.
His food truck was like 3 blocks away from where I used to live.
Dude, you should have gone.
I was about to ask. Did you try the
Same,
food from
same.
the Jack Food
No,
truck?
I didn't. I didn't know it was there. I was like, I hate this word, but like a foodie. Like I get, like I plan my trips and like everything. Where I live, I base on like what's around food wise. And I didn't. Maybe his social media promotion isn't good enough because I didn't even know it was in my area. Otherwise, I would have found it because there were no barbecue places. I love barbecue.
Yeah. By
I
the way,
didn't know there was even a barbecue truck.
this show is not sponsored by Jack's Food Truck, just so you know, guys, just in case.
But if you're looking,
Yeah. Fig, I have a question for you though. If Zane had a favorite wrestling movie, what would move? Not movie, move. What would it be?
a wrestling move.
Yes,
God.
wrestling move.
Something about cow urses and banjos. I don't know. I don't have a good answer for
Sounds
that.
more like
Just say-
WWE than than the wrestling.
Yeah.
Just like make the Bill 2 reference and say double suplex.
Okay.
Who
What?
asked that question?
I don't remember. I'll find it later, and I'm gonna tell you later. Okay, guys, one more question for you. So what is your favorite manufacturer? And imagine if you could like work for this manufacturer. What would be your favorite employee to have, and why?
Is it TDR?
Is it TDR? They want to live in a duplex.
They want to live like the way they do now.
Yeah.
So, I really like Tedior, but I gotta say Torg because that is the OG explosive manufacturer, and we love explosions. I don't know. I think, like, you know, of course Torg's personality is amazing, but you know, splash damage is basically slag in BL3. So, you know, you gotta love the good old Torg. Plus, all the rocket launchers are all my favorite guns in the games. The Scourge, the Hive, the Tunguska even is a really awesome gun, even though it sucks. Plague Bear. Like, all those guns are my favorites. It's because you shoot them once and then there's just the whole room lights up.
I totally forgot the Hive exists, and I miss this gun. I miss this gun dearly.
Dude, we need a M6 Hive.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, that'd be cool. I would probably say we torn between Malawan or Hyperion. I freaking love the reflex now, but the Brainstormer was like the coolest thing. And that was Hyperion, and the Crossroads was original favorite of mine. The Redistributor is so much fun. The License, I just love the feel of all the Hyperion weapons in the game. Hyperion shotguns, Hyperion SMGs, rip no Hyperion pistols. Oh well. And then Malawan has elemental weapons, which I have always been my favorite weapons to use, but like everything is elemental now. But yeah, recursion.
Crossroads is pretty amazing.
It used to be.
Yeah.
Yeah,
man.
rip.
I remember Crossroads when
It's,
release,
so,
and it
it's
was like,
honestly strange, like that hasn't gotten anything in so long. Like I don't know, like I don't understand.
Well, we're slowly getting some
It's-
nerfs for certain guns with every hotfix, so maybe it will get some love again. There's a slight
Yeah.
chance. Okay, guys, thank you so much for joining us here today. It was lovely to have you here. For those who missed or came in too late, we're gonna have our episode uploaded soon on YouTube. Any last words you wanna add? Say shout outs to someone, to self, promote yourself here. This is your moment for that.
Twitter.com/thickfillet_.
Okay.
hell yeah.
I'm just kidding. Thank you guys for having me. I like being here. I like having fun conversations like this too. So it was a pleasure.
Well, you should come again.
Yeah,
Yeah,
definitely.
thank you for having me as well. This was a lot of fun.
Okay, thanks guys, and
Love talking this stuff.
yeah, thank you very much for coming over today. Next episode in 2 weeks, we'll announce our guest next week, and there's probably a very special surprise for all of you who are excited about new content for the Borderlands. So I'm gonna look forward to see you all here and around. So see you later. Bye guys. Thank you. Bye.
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 See y'all.